Hello everyone, Paul McFarland here talking about Chiat Day and the Chiat Day new business pack here. And this one is particularly good for strategists, CMOs, account planners, and the like. Because the interior pages I've taken you through so far, how to tell Chiat Day from an ad agency, when we win, you win, and vice versa. A Chiat Day advantage, more people in creative. Because the next one is another advantage, no people in research. So why no people in research? Why was that so good? Because back then we didn't have the divisions of these crazy things and agencies we have now, like experience director. They had people in research, and it was research. There were people who generally hide in these, rooms full of books and computers before Macs and all that, and produce these big binders full of things and saying, well, the research says that like 27% of the people who and creative people, we hated that because they would always say something was wrong. So there was that idea that research was necessary. No one really liked it, but what are you going to do? Well, Chiat Day imports account planning from England. And if you don't know your history of what account planning was, this will bring you an American perspective on how it all began. So here we go. Settle in. This is really good because if you're a creative person who works in advertising and cares about effectiveness, cares about the relevance to what you're doing to getting actual sales and growth, remember, we sell shit, get over it. Tuck in. Another advantage, no people in research. There are agencies where intuition calls the shots, and agencies where analysis rules the roost. But seldom the twain have met. As a result, a lot of hip-shooting guesswork has been passed off as creative, and a lot of hyper-analyzed eyewash has been justified as effective. Neither of which has been either. And both of which have left advertisers with an edgy feeling that when they pick an agency for its strength, they risk getting stuck with a weakness. All things to all people. Which, considering the odds, makes sense. See? Putting the arm around the reader. Despite an occasional indication that when given common goals and the right environment, intuition and analysis can coexist, and indeed can even be interdependent, in support of which we'll offer ourselves as an unexpected example. Unexpected because their reputation at the time this was done was that they won a lot of awards, creative stuff, but were undisciplined, at least by certain people. Unexpected because of our preoccupation with doing breakthrough work, which might lead one to assume that we downplay research and testing. But nothing could be further from the truth. And that's the end of the page. So how hard do you think they had to work to get that at the end of the page? When all the type size have to be the same. Can you do that? Because, fact is, we continuously research and test everything we do. Each strategy and all concepts. Virtually every ad and commercial. And we've been doing so for several years. Oh, yeah, since 1982. Ever since we junked our conventional, on-call as needed, departmentalized research capability. Yeah, this is because Jay always was looking at what's going on around the world, and he saw the effective work that was being done in Great Britain, and wanted to understand it, talk to people, find out about account planning, and said, right, we're going to have this too. So we imported some Brits, like Jane Newman, and replaced it with a fresh new concept known as account planning, lowercase a and p. Is that interesting? Which turned testing and research into day in, day out, client-assigned line responsibilities. See, at this point, they're trying really hard to say, hey, we're creative, award-winning, hippy-dippy shop, but we're really disciplined people too, and they're bending over backwards to reach out to clients who would say, I would never choose Chiat Day, to think, I can choose Chiat Day. And brought forth a new breed of advertising pathfinders that we call account planners, who work as nonstop co-equal members of each Chiat account team. That's important. With a responsibility for knowing, stone cold, and with foresight, what makes their marketplaces tick. And also for working directly and interactively with account managers and creative teams and clients. Yeah, see, this is a disconnected department of research. When you need it, boom, what do the numbers say? And having a living, breathing person or persons whose main responsibility is the relevance of the work. And in some cases, the relevance of the client. Not as watchdogs, but as seeing eye contributors. See, even seeing eye dog, seeing eye watchdog, dog, Chiat. And not as arm's length evaluators, but as hands-on advertising activists. See the power of these words? With a vested interest in helping their teammates consistently score advertising bullseyes by contributing to pinpoint strategies that start on target and stay on target. See, now, there's no such thing as a target. You try this, put that on Instagram and do this. Oh, now we're doing this. Now we're doing short stories. Oh, now we're doing this, short videos. And now we're doing this, and now we're doing this. There's no target anymore. People are just running like ants where you keep dribbling the honey in different directions. Who's doing the dribbling? And creative work that sticks in the minds and hearts of the audiences we've set our sights on. Now we're getting somewhere. Creative work that sticks in the minds and the hearts of the audiences we've set our sights on. That's our aim, pure and simple. And perhaps it's yours as well. No, it's not mine. I just want it. My gosh, they do want what I want. If so, you'll have no need to settle for the usual trade-offs between intuition and analysis. Because at Chiat, those seldom met twain are interrelated and as mutually dependent as Siamese twins. Inseparably so. So in that little section, they introduce a new thing. They argue against their current perception. They reach across to the most conservative clients, making it seem permissible to hire them. And they do it with a pride, authority, even though it was only a few years they've been doing this, and with a definitiveness that no other agency could have done at that time, and few do even now. Whether you believe in account planning or research or consumer insights or strategy or whatever you do to say the work will make sense in the world, and the best creative people are account planners at heart, you got to care about the work. You got to care about the people you're shoving this work in front of. And I can tell very, very, very few of the work I see posted anywhere, even as a little look at our new work, shows a love for the people whose money you're trying to get. No, not really. No love, certainly no respect or honor, or maybe even loyalty. Now, if you care about your work working, if you care about your work increasing sales, scale, share, and growth, at some point you either have to intuitively or tangibly have someone on the team where that is their prime responsibility. Because if you don't, you still have to say to a client, trust us. Even an account planner has to say, look, trust me. But sometimes it's human nature. If you have a team of account people, account planners, creative, and maybe even agency management, if the client's big enough, all in the room looking at you saying, trust us, it's wonderfully overwhelming. If you're doing it by yourself, it's a lot harder. You got to have a lot to back it up. And data. Oh, data. So we used to call it research. Now it's data. Well, data is always what research was, but we just call it something different. Data. The truth is in the data. No, the fucking truth is not in the data. The likelihoods of the past are in the data. with which you may extrapolate what might likely potentially happen in the present or near future. Because data can point, but it can't touch. Only a human being's artistry, as a poet, as an artist, as a salesperson, can touch. So care about the relevance of the work, care about the effectiveness of the work. That's the way they did it in the 80s. How are you doing it today? I want to know, how do you make your work more reliably relevant? It needs to be, doesn't it? Well, it's certainly true. We must plan to do great work.